And then the Moderna disclosed that Chief Medical Officer Tal Zaks will be leaving the company in late September. He was with the company for 6 years, so well before the IPO, which happened in late 2018. He's pretty famous for having sold shares all the way through during the run-up. I think at last count I saw, he had grossed $80 million in sales of stock. Obviously, he would have made a heck of a lot more if he'd just held on. But it's his money, and I can understand if, you have a windfall, that not keeping it all in one place makes sense to me. Are you worried about Moderna's prospects during the change at the medical officer position?
Well, I'll first say that I suspect Tal Zaks wished that he had held on to at least some of those shares to sell at a higher price. But yeah, still $80 million gross profit isn't bad, right? Not bad at all. We don't know where he's going at this point. I think he's going to serve through the next few months, September, right? Yeah, September.
Let me check my notes.
Yeah, I think it was September. But there were no details provided about where he's going. It wouldn't surprise me to see him become a top executive at a smaller biotech, perhaps. We'll see. But the question, should investors be worried? My answer is no, absolutely not. Moderna shouldn't have a problem finding a highly qualified new chief medical officer. Their technology is sound. It's not like the departure of Tal Zaks is going to all of a sudden leave them with a void that they're not going to be able to keep going. So, it's an interesting move, but I think Moderna has been so successful that Tal Zaks probably being poached by another company, but I don't think it materially impacts Moderna's prospects at all.
Yeah, and there's sort of like different flavors of chief medical officers, right? So there's the kind of chief medical officer that is sort of for a new up and coming company, where there's sort of different requirements for that compared to a company that Moderna is growing very quickly into, which is a company with quite a few programs, and now it's more of a logistical issue, versus a scientific issue for the chief medical officer.
Yeah, and sometimes the departure of a top executive really does matter to a company, but in this case, I just don't think it's going to be a big deal.